Okay, so today we're going to work on making predictions with trend lines on scatter plots. So as you can see, we already have some trend lines present. So first, I'm going to put my boundaries on each scatter plot just so we can see if we are placing our trend lines in the correct spot. So I know my boundaries look a little crooked. Don't judge. Okay. So we have our trend lines. Trend lines. Okay. So now we're going to place them in the corresponding boxes. So A, that trend line looks a little high. So we're going to put that into high. For B, that is definitely too low of a trend line. C would be just right. D would be too low. E would be just right. F would be just right. G would definitely be too high. And H is too low. So now that we have a refresher on, what our trend line should look like, so looking at C, E, and F, now we're going to go ahead and start making predictions. So the scatter plot shows the number of days that several homes have been for sale compared to the number of times the house has been viewed. Use the data to type your solutions at the right. So we have a positive association, it's linear, and we already have our trend line. So number one says let's write an equation for the trend line in slope intercept form. So we're going to write that using y equals mx plus b. So we're not going to change how we go about things. We still need m equals, we still need b equals. So first I'm going to place a red dot or point at my y-intercept. My y-intercept is 0. Oh, sorry. Our y-intercept is 0, so we're going to put a 0 there. Then you have your slope. So we still need to do rise over run. So I'm still going to do my rise over run, but I'm going to into my scaling. I noticed that the scale on my x-axis is going by 5 and my scale on my y-axis is going by 10. So I'm going to go up 1, but it's really 10. So my rise is 10. Then my run, I go over 1, but it's really 5 because I'm going by a scale of 5. So I have 5 here. So 10 over 5, that simplifies to 2. So my slope is 2. So my equation is going to be y equals 2x. Now it says, what does each variable in the equation of the trend line represent? So my X value represents the number of days for sale. So number of days it's been on the market. And then our Y axis or our Y value represents the number of times it's been viewed. Okay. Now it says use the equation to predict the number of times a house would have been viewed if it had been on sale for 40 days. So we know the number of days. So what we're going to do, we're going to write our equation, y equals 2x. And 40 days represents our x-axis, or our x value. So we're going to substitute 40 for x. 40 times 2 gives us 80. So that house would have gotten 80 views. Even if I were to extend my trend line, so if I were to keep going with my trend line and I looked at 40 days on the market and plot my point, I'm still at 80. Okay, I'm still at 80. So number 4 says use the equation to predict the number of days a house has been on sale if it's been viewed 70 times. So now we're looking at how many times it's been viewed, which is our y-axis. So we have our equation, y equals 2x. This time we are going to substitute our y value and place 70 equals 2x. We divide by 2. X is equal to 35. So it's been on the market for 35 days. If I were to go to 70 over here, plot my point, I would still be at 35 days. So now you're going to go ahead and complete your Desmos activity and refer back to your notes when needed.